We often discuss high-risk lifestyles on this channel, where people with certain characteristics and displaying certain behaviours will be at greater risk of being a victim of a violent crime. But we also look at situations where the reverse is true, with occupations and behaviours that are, at least on paper, relatively safe and low risk. Today's case examples the low-risk lifestyle of a man who became a victim nonetheless. The victim was a very popular teacher. And when he was killed, he was in his own backyard. We're heading to one of the biggest cities in Arizona, that being Mesa, and to 2017 to look at the murder of popular high school maths teacher Ryne Zahner. This is Murder of Crows. The history of Mesa dates back at least 2,000 years to the arrival of the Hohokam people. The Hohokam, whose name means all used up, or the departed ones, built the original canal system. And these canals were the largest and most sophisticated in the prehistoric New World. Some were up to 90 feet or 27 meters wide and 10 feet or 3 meters deep at their head gates, extending for as far as 16 miles or 26 kilometers across the desert. By AD 1100, water could be delivered to an area over 110,000 acres, or 450 square kilometers, transforming the Sonoran Desert into an agricultural oasis. By 1450, the Hohokam had constructed hundreds of miles of canals, many of which are still in use to this day.
We typically associate very large water control systems with state-level societies, really highly complex civilizations. And the Hohokam never reached that level of complexity, but yet nonetheless, these, like I said, these were the largest prehistoric canal systems in North America. They were able to construct them. They were able to organize the labor to build them and then to maintain them and to coordinate water delivery. So in that sense, using just sticks and stones to dig them and excavate and manage them, it's quite amazing.
After the disappearance of the Hohokam and before the arrival of the early settlers, little is known, because explorers did not venture into this area. By the late 19th century, near present-day Mesa, U.S. Army troops relocated the Apache, opening the way for settlement, because of course they did. In March of 1877, Mormon pioneer Daniel Webster Jones and Henry Clay Rogers left St. George, Utah. Jones had been asked by Mormon officials to direct a party of people in establishing a settlement in Arizona. They traveled south and settled on the north side of the present Mesa area. This settlement was initially known as Fort Utah and later as Jonesville. Better than Jonestown, you gotta say. It was located near Leahy Road, and in 1883 it was named Leahy at the suggestion of Brigham Young Jr. About this same time, another group, dubbed the First Mesa Company, arrived from Utah and Idaho. Their leaders were Francis Martin Pomeroy, Charles Crimson, George Warren Serene, and Charles I. Robson. And rather than accepting an invitation to settle at Jones's Leahy settlement, they moved up onto the mesa that serves as the city's namesake. They dug irrigation canals and used some of the original Hohokam canals. By April of 1878, water was flowing through this system. The Second Mesa Company arrived in 1879 and settled to the west of the First Mesa Company because of more available farmland. On July the 17th, 1878, Mesa City was registered as a 1 square mile or 2.6 square kilometer town site. The first school was built in 1879. In 1883, Mesa City was incorporated with a population of 300 people. Moving forward in time, with the opening of Falcon Field and Williams Field in the early 1940s, more military personnel began to move into the Mesa area. With the advent of air conditioning and the rise of tourism, population growth exploded in Mesa, as well as the rest of the wider Phoenix area. Today, Mesa is a county in Maricopa County, Arizona. The population was 504,258 at the 2020 census. It is the third most populous city in Arizona after Phoenix and Tucson, and the 37th most populous city in the United States. At least 10 colleges and universities are located in Mesa, as is the Mesa, Arizona temple, one of the first LDS temples constructed outside of Utah. The city is home to the largest relief airport in the Phoenix area, that being the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, which is located in the southeastern corner of the city. Mesa has over 2,280 acres of parkland in the city limits, and its largest is Red Mountain Park, which spans 1,146 acres, and this includes a lake, playgrounds, a basketball court, and a cement volleyball court. With 10 colleges and universities in Mesa, it is clear that education is a core value in the city. And in 2017, one of the educators of young people in the city was 26-year-old high school maths teacher Ryne Zahner. Ryne Zahner was born in Peoria, Illinois, and moved to Arizona in 1999. He graduated from Arizona State University and most recently had graduated from Northern Arizona University with a master's degree in educational leadership. Ryne Zahner was a favorite among his students at Mesa High School. The 26-year-old maths teacher was known for his amicable nature, and he inspired several students and was liked by, as far as I'm aware, all of his students. He was at the prime of his life when it was cut tragically short by someone very close to him. On January the 15th, 2017, at around 4 in the morning, Tempe police said officers were alerted by gunshots in the neighboring area. They reached the scene to discover Ryne Zahner and that he had died of gunshot wounds. The police were informed that the shooter had run away. The entire school mourned his loss, while the investigators plunged into a nationwide manhunt for the culprit who was behind Ryan's demise. The shooting had occurred after Ryne and his friend Tyler Bartels returned to Ryan's home, and they were sitting in Ryan's backyard around a fire, just chatting as friends do. The shooter suddenly came in with a rifle and started yelling at the two friends. He then fired the rifle multiple times at Ryne, killing him on the spot. Tyler tackled the shooter and tried to pry the gun away from his hand. After the altercation, Tyler ran away from the backyard for safety and called 911. As soon as Ryne was identified as the victim, Tributes poured in for the popular teacher. Mesa Public Schools spokeswoman Helen Holland said, Ryne Zahner was a respected maths teacher at Mesa High School and a graduate of Skyline High School. The Zahner family is part of the Mesa Public Schools community, and we send our thoughts and condolences to them during this difficult time. The shooter was later identified to be Tyler Bartell's brother, Caleb Bartels. Tyler told the police that he hadn't been able to identify his brother immediately, but eventually Tyler steered the police in the direction of Caleb. Following the identification, the police then issued a nationwide warrant along with Bartell's description.
This man, Caleb Bartell.
Yeah, he is wanted in the death of a beloved math teacher in Mesa, and ABC 15's Nohelani Graff is live outside Mesa High School where that teacher taught. Nohe, the suspect considered armed and dangerous?
Yeah, I mean, Dan, he shot and killed a man, is accused of shooting him in cold blood, and it has sent a ripple effect here to Mesa High School, where Ryne Zahner was a very popular teacher. But first, let's get straight to a look at the suspect, because he is still on the run. His name is Caleb Bartels. He is 27 years old. He's about 5'10". You can see he's got those green eyes there. You might also recognize the car that he was last known to be driving. It's a 2007 silver Pontiac Grand Prix. The license plate is on your screen right now. As Dana and Danielle mentioned, he is considered armed and dangerous. Now, police believe he went to Ryne Zahner's backyard and murdered him. Zahner, a math teacher here at Mesa High School, he's described as being young and vivacious with a heart of gold and a great smile. The school is planning to have counselors on hand for students all week. Of course, they're just returning today after having the holiday off yesterday. The community also trying to step up to help Zahner's family. Dan.
Well, yeah, no, hey, a lot of people ask, what can they do in moments like this? We're hearing that a local restaurant actually wants to help out Zahner's family.
Yeah, actually, Spinelli's on Mill Avenue in Tempe. Tomorrow, if you eat there, they're going to donate 20% of the proceeds from the day's sales back to Mr. Zahner's family. So just a small thing that you can do that could really make a big difference for his family during this tough time.
All right, Nohelani Graff reporting. Thanks, Nohe, for that information.
Come on the air tonight, breaking news and a new photo, brand new details on the man quickly becoming one of the most wanted in the valley. Caleb Bartels, accused of killing Ryne Zahner, a Mesa math teacher.
And police believe he may have now crossed state lines, possibly going to Sacramento, Reno, or Beaverton, Oregon. As for the man we lost in this tragedy, we're learning more at 10 about the kind of role model he was.
ABC 15's Navita Fergani joining us live now. And Navita, Ryne Zahner's family praying for a quick arrest.
They are, and Zahner's sister just told me that they want the man who is on the run to pay for the life he took from them.
26-year-old math teacher and Cubs fan Ryne Zahner had his whole life ahead of him.
He didn't deserve that.
His sister, not ready to show her face, but is ready to share the one thing she'll miss about her brother.
His contagious smile, and that he could make anyone laugh.
A smile that'll only be seen in pictures after Ryne's life was cut short. Tempe police say he and a roommate were outside by a fire pit when Caleb Bartels, the guy he used to live with, stormed into the backyard and opened fire.
I'm also glad that somebody was out there with him so that somebody could be identified.
The family says they aren't shocked by the suspect's behavior.
He was a little off over the last several years.
Police say Bartels has suffered with mental health issues, and we're told he's been on the run since the shooting, getting pulled over in Utah with a murder weapon in the car. At that time, though, he hadn't been identified as the suspect. So he's out there somewhere tonight, and the victim's family hopes people are on the lookout.
If he would do this to my brother, I think he'd do that to anyone.
And we have just confirmed that a vigil will be held at Mesa High School Thursday at 8 p.m. for the family and friends of the victim. And of course, we're going to keep you updated on the manhunt. Back to you.
However, the warrant took a few hours to be released. And by that time, Bartels, who had fled in a 2007 silver Pontiac Grand Prix, had already been stopped and let go by troopers several times. He was pulled over once near Page, once in Utah, and once in Nevada. He was ultimately caught by an off-duty California Highway Patrol officer who recognized Caleb from the description released by the authorities. Another on-duty officer who spotted the vehicle ran the plate number and confirmed it to be Caleb's. The officers who arrested Caleb Bartel found receipts of ammunition matching the shell casings retrieved from the crime scene and from the murder weapon.
Tempe police sent investigators to California last night. Now, they tell us they're hoping once they talk to Bartels, they may be able to begin piecing together what led to this shooting.
After nearly a week on the run, Caleb Bartels is behind bars. The manhunt for Bartels began after 26-year-old Mesa High School teacher Ryne Zahner was found murdered in his backyard.
He was considered armed and dangerous, so it is a great relief to know that he is in custody. But at the same time, you know, it's still a horrible, horrific, tragic incident.
Tempe police telling 12 News Bartels was arrested in Doyle, California, a small town in the northern part of the state near the Nevada border.
There was an off-duty officer who was on his way home, and he actually observed the vehicle that we had put on that alert.
After the officer called it into dispatch,
they conducted a high-risk vehicle stop with additional officers, and Caleb was taken into custody with no further incident.
Tempe investigators say they'd put law enforcement in the area on alert after learning Bartels may be heading up north.
I don't know the full details of why Beaverton, Oregon, but that was one of the locations that our investigators believe that he may have been headed to.
Police believe Bartels shot and killed Zahner in the backyard of the teacher's home in the early hours of last Sunday morning. As of now, a motive for the killing remains unclear.
We know that they were friends. We believed that they were still friends.
Shocked and devastated, Zahner's family, friends, and students have all been waiting for word of Bartels' arrest. And while it does offer a small sense of relief,
so there's a huge community that was impacted by his death, and we know that even taking Caleb into custody is not going to take the pain and grief away from his family and friends.
And again, Tempe investigators are in California right now to talk to Bartels, but it's still unclear when he'll be brought back here to Arizona. Reporting from the newsroom, Monique Riego, 12 News.
Despite the arrest, it took 2 years for the case to come to trial. But in April of 2019, Caleb Bartels was found guilty of murder, aggravated assault, and burglary. In June of 2019, he was sentenced to life plus 15 years in prison by a Maricopa County Superior Court judge. Caleb Bartels was also sentenced by Judge Susana Pineda to 15 years for aggravated assault and 7.5 years for burglary.
Linda Williams, an East Valley man, learns his punishment for shooting and killing his roommate, who was also a math teacher at Mesa High School. A judge today sentenced Caleb Bartels to natural life plus 15 years in prison for the murder of 26-year-old Ryne Zahner. In January of 2017, Bartels ambushed the victim in the backyard of his Tempe home. Bartels was later arrested in California. Court records show Caleb had mental health issues and had moved out of Zahner's home and blamed the school teacher for his problems. Linda Williams, Fox 10 News.
Ryne Zahner and Caleb Bartels were originally friends, and even at one time were roommates. So it begs the question, and it's a question that I have yet to find an answer for, what could have gone so horribly wrong within a friendship to eventually lead to murder? Indeed, why would the murderer have attacked the man while in that man's own backyard, with the killer's own brother being there at the time? It is so difficult to fathom what circumstances could have led to such a setting and such a manner of murder. According to his obituary, Ryne Zahner was born in Peoria, Illinois on February the 28th, 1990, and he moved to Arizona in 1999. He attended Skyline High School, where he played baseball, and graduated in 2008. He earned his bachelor's degree in secondary education with an emphasis in both history and maths from Arizona State University in 2012. He earned his master's degree in educational leadership from Northern Arizona University in 2015. And he had recently received his principal certification. He was in his 5th year of teaching maths at Mesa High School. He loved being a teacher and the impact that he had on his students. Ryne was an avid Cubs fan and enjoyed watching USC football and Duke basketball. He loved country music, as well as hanging out with family and friends. He was well respected and a friend to everyone. He was often described as outgoing, caring, funny, and charismatic. And that was the desperately sad story of a much-loved schoolteacher senselessly murdered for little to no reason. This video is dedicated to this happy and fun-loving young man, and I send love and condolences to his friends and to his family. Thank you for watching Murder of Crows. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet, as it really helps me out. But with that said, I'm Steve. This is Samson. And we will see you when we see you.